everyone, thanks for checking out Once Upon a Pot. Today we are talking all about my favorite things to do inside of Disney's Hollywood Studios. So if this is your first time checking out my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I would love if you would take a moment and subscribe below, and also give it a thumbs up if you like this video and any of the others on my channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into my favorite things to do inside of Disney Hollywood Studios. So first off, I just have to quickly put like a little asterisk and disclaimer into this video for a few things. Number one, there's a good chance I'm gonna call it MGM. I don't care how many years it will be after they've changed the name, it is still MGM to me, and that is actually why I created a shirt inside of my Etsy shop that says, it's still MGM to me. And if you're an 80s/90s kid like me, I hope you said that in the tone of Billy Joel, because that's kind of the point. So anyway, if you hear me refer to it as MGM, that's why. But anyway, let's go on to my next disclaimer. I have not yet been to Toy Story Land. So this video is pre-Toy Story Land. I just feel like I need to get that out there because obviously there's a bunch of stuff in there that's going to be a top contender. So just cut me some slack on that. So this wouldn't be a roundup without talking about food, for me at least. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, I do have 5, so again you get a top 5 out of me. Number 5 is going to be the 50s Primetime Cafe. And really you can kind of mix and match any of the themed dining experiences in Hollywood Studios, but for me I really love the 50s Primetime Cafe. I have a really fun memory from when I was little. We had the best server that I've ever experienced. I mean, look at, I'm now 30, almost 31 years old this coming month. And I still remember him, and his name was Cousin Vinny. I don't know what his real name was, but he just took a shine to my family and I. He came and sat down with us, and let me back up, because the whole theme of the 50s Primetime Cafe is like you're at home in the Beaver Cleaver house, and you know, kind of that old-timey feel where, you know, they'll yell at you, just get your elbows off the table, and tell you your face is a mess and you have to wipe it with a napkin, and it's meant to be kind of that home feeling, but back in the 50s. So anyway, Cousin Vinny totally just like hung out with us. We actually met up with him afterwards. He gave me his like cast member, his original cast member badge. I guess it was like an old one or something, so I have that. It's so cool. So it's really fun when you get to make a fun connection with a cast member, and obviously that's their goal, is to make some magic and make you have some fun memories. So that's why the 50s Primetime Cafe has always kind of stuck in my head, and it's one of the top places that I want to recommend to you. So next up is a fairly new attraction, and it is the first time in forever Frozen sing-along. And if you have any, you know, children under the age of 10, there's a good chance that they're addicted to Frozen, or if you're a 31-year-old mom, you're probably addicted to Frozen. And what's really fun is that there are 2 cast members that are kind of the narrators of the whole story, and usually there's one guy that I absolutely love. I mean, they're all named Eric, but he's hilarious and the best delivery. Anyway, it's a really fun show because there's a lot of little puns and jokes and, you know, innuendos for the adults, but still a great time for the kids because they get to see Anna and Elsa and Kristoff, and no, actually Olaf isn't there. Olaf isn't there. Olaf isn't a character experience outside of it. Anyway, it's a really fun one, and you will find yourself singing at the top of your lungs at the end to Let It Go. So number 3 for me is a little bit tough because I loved the original. I don't love it so much now, and that is Star Tours. So I absolutely loved the original. That is a ride that my dad and I would go on. We went on so many times once that the cast member was like, why don't you guys just stay on? You don't have to get back into the line. There's no line. Just stay on the ride. So loved that. We knew the whole script, you know, Lightspeed to Endor and everything. And then they went and changed it. I don't know, maybe it's me getting old, but I really don't like the 3D glasses and I get a little loopy on it. I don't know, it's still one of those fun rides that I only have to do once when I go, but I do have to do it. So Star Tours is my number 3. Okay, so number 2 is something that's kind of surprising to people because I'm kind of a ride wimp. Like, you will notice that on this list, yeah, Tower of Terror is not on this list because I don't ride that ride. I hate that ride with a passion. I do not like that sensation of dropping, so that is not my ride. But what is the Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't know why, I think it's because it's just so darn fast that I don't realize what's happening. And another thing that's kind of fun for me is all the signs. It's as if you're driving around the freeway in LA, so like, I'm like, oh, that would have been my exit, or we used to live over there, things like that. So, I mean, you're doing corkscrews, you're doing loops, you are doing some drops, but you're going so fast that you really don't feel it, and you have the Aerosmith music blasting in your ears. It's really fun. So Rock and Roller Coaster is my number 2. Okay, so now it's time for my number 1, and I feel like it's kind of a cop-out, but I don't really care. So the number 1 thing for me to do at Disney Hollywood Studios, aka MGM, is Fantasmic. I mean, I love this show with every fiber of my being. What's kind of cool is here or I should say there in Hollywood Studios in Florida, it's actually in its own amphitheater, which is cool. In Disneyland here, it is outside, kind of, you know, in Frontierland and everything. So I love the music. It is a different soundtrack from the one in Disneyland currently. They switched it over, so just make sure that you're aware. It's a different show if you've only seen the Disneyland one. I love it. I love the water effects. I love the projections. I love the music. And my favorite line in there is, "Some imagination, huh?" I don't know. I feel like, obviously there's a shirt in my shop with that too. I love that saying, and that's one of those, like, it hits the feels that when, you know, there's just this big rush of music and it's beautifully composed music, and all of a sudden then you hear the boop, boop, boop. Some imagination, huh? Okay, you guys can like watch it on YouTube if you really need it. That's definitely my number 1. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I obviously know that there's a lot of great things coming. There's a lot of new things that have just opened in Toy Story Land, and of course, like I said, coming with Galaxy's Edge. So this video is solely on my experience and what I love in that park. So I hope you do check it out, and let me know what your favorites are in the comments below. Send me a direct message on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you next time. Have a magical day.
Some imagination, huh?